Okay, happy Thanksgiving. This is my second annual Legs of Gratitude. I'm assuming everybody's going to be eating later something, and to harness all that good energy, we're going to create demand in our biggest muscle groups today, which are glutes, legs, abs, some shoulders. So, but definitely lots of legs. So legs of gratitude, therefore. We'll start standing and we're going to go into a forward bend. So we'll stand about way more than shoulder distance apart. So really comfortable distance and just allowing for the head to hang, for the spine to lengthen and drape, and the shoulders to soften, and the head to hang, and the neck to lengthen. And if you want, you can, of course, put your hands on the floor, your fingertips on the floor, or on blocks, should you need them, or on a higher surface. But since we're only starting out, we don't want to push it right off the bat too hard. I'm going to push it a bit today. That's for sure. So staying here and just see if we can find our breath. And then just checking in with your knees and see if you can bend them a little bit more. And this might not be available. The knees really don't bend if the brain is not comfortable with the situation, I would say. And then just slowly start to go side to side. And this could be the smallest little shifting, but the intention is that we're using our feet to push the ground underneath us into the opposite direction. Check in with your head and neck again. Are you looking up? Or rather, are you looking right down at the floor? And see if we can just let that drop and look through your legs. That's really hard because the neck is so stuck in the back. It's really a process for that neck to let go. So see if we can still breathe and shift side to side, and starting to warm up the legs. And then we'll come to center, and then we'll just do a couple of pulses. So as I said, this is going to be a leg-centric class, just to prepare our big muscle groups. I forgot who it was. There was this biohacker. I don't really even like that term, but he was like, oh, before I go to like a family gathering, I do 150 squats. I was like, okay, right on. If he does it. And then slowly bend your knees, pull the feet into the ground, and round yourself up. Keep the knees bent, keep the sits bones slightly back, noticing if we want to push up and lock the knees and push the hip forward. So just again, this is probably going to be the case, but we're trying to become more conscious of that. Bend the knees again and send your butt back and round your spine back down to the floor. Forehead is looking through the legs. The crown of the head is dropping toward the earth. And then maybe put your hands on the floor here. So just slight external rotation with your palms. Head is heavy. And then we're just going to shift forward and backward. And allow, and I mean, we want to load the hands and the shoulders and the arms, but feel if your shoulders start to shrug up when you want to, even before you want to load them, because that's the first response probably. So we want to say, I'm going to pull the mat or the earth underneath me apart. It's going to help you widen the blades. And that's kind of what we're banking on, that we're not crunching the blades up. We're widening them. We're engaging the serratus a little bit. And you're just going to shift forward and backward. And I would say you probably start feeling this a lot in your quads. That's okay. You could even lift your heels a little higher when you shift forward. Maybe you bend your knees a little more. Keep your head heavy. Look through your legs by whatever you do here. Let's do this one more time and then keep a little bit more weight into your hands. And let's maybe turn the head a little bit. We're starting to load. We're in an inversion and we're trying to turn our head and neck here. It's really good to turn the head and neck in the inversion. And then shifting back into your feet and legs and slowly round yourself up. Very good. Shake it out a bit. It's already a lot that's going on here. We're going to come into the asymmetrical stance. My right foot is forward here. I'm going to bend the knees and I'm going to crouch down. And with that crouch, I'm going to see if I can lengthen and round my spine here. And we're going to go a little longer in our jiggy, our forward backward. Now, right away, start to pay attention. Is your right foot, if that's your front foot, is that foot grounded? Is your big toe as heavy as your pinky toe? And as you're pulling your knee forward and backward from your hamstring, so you're pulling from your foot, you're pushing and you're pulling, is your knee tracking with the second and third toe, right? Because we really want to pay attention to that, that the knee is not wobbling side to side. And let's step that left foot forward. Let's step the right foot back. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. Any distance with the back foot. Hop it close, hop it further, whatever. Make it different. Make it even different than the first side. We're not getting too stuck in, it has to be the same. I tend to get stuck there. So shifting, finding your legs, finding your alignment, and really pay attention and saying, this is where my knee's gonna go, second and third toe. And let's slowly take your hands off the floor, round yourself up, and let's step forward. So legs of gratitude. We're gonna intersperse a set of squats within the whole hour. So you do as much as you can and as much as you want, but I just want to warn you. We're going to do only asymmetrical squats, because I think it's kind of the most available for people. We'll start out with the right foot in front, left foot in the back. Here's my asymmetrical stance. And then just see, can I bend the knees and then come back up? Yeah. So the back is, this is really important. When you go down, you don't want to arch your back. If you need to round your back, that's fine, but don't arch your back. And we're going to do 5 with the right foot in front. So you're doing you. If you need to hold on to something, you hold on to something. But I encourage you to not make it a fast thing. You're going to go as slow as you possibly can. And maybe you go like this. You go little. That's fine. Even if you feel like you don't stand it at the end, there's no gymnastics competition. Let's switch sides, because I think we're at 5. And you're going to do maybe a small one and a little bigger one. And as you come up, really think about the kidneys and the diaphragm coming back, and that back foot, pull it down, maybe a little bigger one. Maybe you do one with the forward bend and coming up rounded. And I think we have to do one more to make it 5. Maybe change that back foot position even a little more. Very good. So there's our 10 squats already. We're going to rack them up today. Now come to sitting on the floor. Where there is legs, there's hips. And we're going to work our hips a bit. Sitting on something,
pillow, blanket, bolster. Make it so your knees are not too high. So rather sit higher, that the knees can be pelvis height or lower than that. And we're going to start with our little pelvic tilts. Very small. Letting the pelvis roll back. Let's actually right away use the arms. We're going to cat spine. And then we're going to pull the sits bones back for the cow spine. And the cow spine is not as big as the cat spine. You want to keep your diaphragm hooked slightly back, squeeze the shoulders, maybe you lift your chin. Initiate from your pelvis. Cat spine. And pull from your pelvis. So it's always pelvis first. Squeeze the shoulders together, kidneys staying back. So belly is really engaged. And we're in the cow. Let's do this one more time. Rounding. We really want to move the spine. And very much, the Pilates thing is I'm choosing what I'm moving. I'm not moving everything together. Not really. You're engaging things together, but we're not moving everything at the same time. That's more like dance. So let's go here. We're going to side bend. Easy. So if your right foot is in front, you're going to have a smaller side bend eventually to the right, and then going to the left. And on the left, you're going to maybe have to set, or you should set the right foot down. But just since we did anterior, posterior, we're going to now go side to side. Yeah. Let the ribs move. Breathing. There's actually quite a big challenge for that right ankle here when you go to the left, because it has to be pretty darn flexible, have decent range of motion. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of stuck here. And that's when it helps to take that right foot on the floor. So let's go to the left, put that right foot on the floor, and just find a little lift here. Yeah. And then sit back down. You're going to slide the left shoulder back in space, ground the whole hand, and lift. And lower down. Very good. One more time. If you're feeling this a lot in your shoulder, obliques, and if you really feel good about this, pick up your left foot as well. Keep that shoulder sliding down the back. Sit back down. Let's do one more. Just remember, we'll do 4 on the other side. You're going to pick up or not. You can put that foot down, right? This is kind of a really cool way to get up off the floor. All right, switch sides. Feel actually here already the difference in maybe positioning of your shoulders. I can already tell that this is a little more relaxed and a little wider, just by 3-4 little conscious pushing, weight bearing positioning of the shoulder girdle. So here we go. We're gonna cat spine. And then pull the sits bones back really slowly. You don't want to miss something here, because if we just do this really quick, we're going to maybe move from our spine. The spine is moving, but we are consciously saying the movement is created by the pelvis. Rounding into your cat spine, big, big round spine, evenly rounded spine. And then pull the sits bones back. Keep the kidneys back. Soften the diaphragm back. So super abdominals. Squeeze the shoulders, lift your heart, lift your chin. One more time. Round. Imagine you push something away here. And then I like to think I'm pulling really heavy therabands. The gray or black ones are really, really heavy. So pull those, squeeze them together, lift your heart, lift your chin, keep the belly engaged, and release. And we're going to go side to side. So here now, it's the left ankle that's a little more challenged. The moment you start to weight bear on that hand, you want to think, I'm taking that shoulder slightly back. Whatever back is, right? Just don't bring it, don't let it forwardly rotate. Move the ribs, push with your sits bones down. Feel that engagement assist you in your side bend. Now we're going to come into putting that left foot on the ground, and maybe we're going to pick up the hip and sit back down. Shift the ribs. It's not about looking for a stretch here. Maybe you're picking up your right foot. Keep that right shoulder down. It's really just we're looking for movement. We don't ever want to look for the stretch. Doesn't feel good. Should be a sign for us to not look for it, right? And release. And then just take a little moment. Feel the shoulders. Maybe they're evenly low. Check out your head and neck. That usually get loosened up when the shoulders start to be more engaged and wider at the same time. Okay, so let's come up to standing, and we're going to do another 10 squats. See how many people I lose along the way. Now, nobody. So let's start with the left foot in front. So you can do your small squat. I don't care how big it is. This is tremendous actually if you don't go all the way down, because all the way down in a way is the rest, right? So if you just that's 2, right? Tiny. 3, maybe stepping, if you're advanced, you're gonna maybe even adduct your squat. So the footsteps behind. You got to make sure you're turning that front leg in with the front foot. So you're not torquing your knee. Maybe you do one more in the adducted version. Maybe you hold on to something. Maybe you're balancing, right? It's all good. And then switch sides. Right, forward in front, foot in front. And you're paying attention to that knee and the foot. Keep the kidneys back. Go really slow. Find your breath. And again, it could be this. Who cares, right? It could be your forward bend and rolling up with your squat. And then come back down to the floor, starting to warm up. I'm starting to warm up. And go ahead and lie on your back. So since we work the big muscle groups, we're gonna work abdominals. They're not as big as the glutes, but heck, abdominals are always good. So bring the arms down by your side and just find your body on the floor. You could even straighten the legs, take a little inventory. Where are my kidneys? Where are my ribs? If your chin is too far up, if you feel like you need a little support under your head, put something under your head. It's always a nice thing to have just a little towel there. And then let's take that little snapshot. How does that feel? Where is everything? And then we're going to go ahead and bend the knees and just do 3 pelvic tilts. We've done some already in our cat and cow, but this is a different ballgame because you can now really feel where is my lower back, right? Where are my ribs? When I go into the cat spine, which is the 12 o'clock, the pelvis tilting towards me, then I can feel, oh yeah, all of my ribs are definitely on the floor. And then when I go into the 6 o'clock, the anterior tilt or the cow spine, then you can feel your ribs lifting up. And both are good, but one we want to do more than less Oh gosh, then the other. I haven't had anything to drink yet. I'm sorry. Trying to find my words here. So sits bones are heavy. There's the anterior tilt. And this is kind of where we want to spend a little more time in, because we tend to be more in the posterior, right? So that's what I wanted to say. So my sits bones are heavy, my kidneys are heavy. I'm going to pull the shoulder blades a little bit into the ground to open the collarbones. And then let's lift the legs into a table. Let's just start right away with some, can I maintain my spine? Can I hold my ribs on the ground? And just even noticing, maybe you can't. That's okay. Let's lower one foot at a time down. Refine your sits bones, refine your kidneys, and then we'll pick up one leg and the other leg for the table. And now maybe if you have one close by, maybe you're going to put something under your head and just feel the ability to ground the rib cage increases tremendously. And let's use that tool if you have it close by. It's much better to work your belly more than working your neck more, right? We don't want to do that. Let's reach the heels up to the ceiling. Keep the sits bones and the kidneys really heavy. And then here we are doing our little pulses. As you lengthen the legs up, make sure you're not going into full hyperextension, and ground your kidneys, ground your ribs. Super stability for your lumbar spine. It's just your legs moving now. That's really what we're looking for. And let's keep those legs up here. Let's lift your head off the floor. So again, as I said, this is not a beginner class here. And just look at your thigh bones. Put your hands onto your thigh bones. Draw the skull a little back, and then just with slightly bent knees, push your hands into your legs and your legs into your hands. And let it shake. And find your breath. Keep widening your collarbones. Keep dropping your sits bones. Keep one more big breath maybe. And then bend your knees, lower one foot and the other foot, and lower your head. So that should have helped to start activate here the front of the body a little bit. Let's do this one more time in a slightly different version. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Lift your legs one leg at a time into your table. Can you redrop the sits bones, the kidneys, and the ribs? Reach the legs up, and then take both legs to the right as both arms come to the left. And you're going to lift your head up. You're going to rotate to the left. Well, just to hold it there. Open those collarbones, right? We're not going to, we don't want to use our arms here. We want to use our obliques here to lift and twist us. Slowly take your legs to the left, take your arms to the right, look to the right, or maybe look to the left, see how that feels. Breathing. How much can I rotate my rib cage counter to where my left leg is going? Breathing here. Rotate over to the left again with your hands. Rotate your legs to the right. Maybe that right leg starts to fall out to the right and my left hip lifts up. Breathing here. Slowly, one more time, other side. I hope you can feel this in the front of the neck. Take the legs to the left. Maybe the left leg goes way more to the left and I'm balancing on my left hip here, trying to pick up my left ribs a little more. Come back to center, bend your knees, lower your feet, lower your head. Excellent. Let's come back up to standing for squat set number 3. I think we're going to do 100. I don't know if we can make it to 100. And here again, you can skip it, right? Who cares? But I just want to get those legs cooking today. So right foot in front for me, and we're gonna go slow. Slight bend or big bend. But consciously, when you come up, pull those feet down. We're straightening, we're lengthening the legs, not by locking the knees back, but by pulling the feet down into the earth. And that's, I hope you can feel that that's a completely different work. And then maybe go for one adducted. So the leg turns in, the foot turns in, and we're going to go down. It's a lot of opening, a lot of strengthening for the hips. So that was 5 for me. Take your time. Change the back foot, always a little bit. Pull, keep the kidneys back. That diaphragm bra strap is hooking back. Maybe you do one where you go into the forward bend and you come out of it with the forward bend. Maybe adducted. I think that was 4 for me. Maybe I'll do one more here, adducted, coming up. Very good. And then come and lie on your back again. See, that's 30 squats already. I'm trying to be a good salesperson. Okay, so here we are. Let's add a little more bridging. So actually, so if you have a big pillow underneath your head, take it away. We're going to take the arms down by the side, and we're going to pull the shoulder blades into the earth again. Notice how that pops the ribs up a little bit. Maybe let a little easing up a little bit on the shoulders and let the ribs be heavy, and then pull your feet down into the floor, drop the sits bones, and then lift the pelvis up ever so slightly. My pants are touching the ground. Breathe here. Big toes are heavy, sits bones dropping, kidneys dropping, and that alone should make your buttocks turn on a lot. Slowly lower the pelvis down. You're going to pull the heels and the shoulder blades a little bit towards each other. So there is definitely a huge, it's a lot of back body work here. Like we're pulling with the back body, and then the pelvis lifts up. Even see if you can pull a little bit with your hands, fingers, right? Can I engage and feel the triceps actually coming on here? Breathing, dropping the bra strap, diaphragm area a little bit more, sticking your butt out a little bit more. And maybe with the power of your glutes and legs, your pelvis lifts a little higher. Keep pulling those heels towards your shoulders. That's definitely going to help to engage those huge muscles. Lower down. Walk your feet close together. Big toes are going to touch, pulling the heels to the shoulders, shoulders to the heels. But then again, pay attention if the ribs pop. Let the ribs be heavy. Pull with the shoulders, lifting the pelvis up, small lift. And let's do a little shifting side to side. Our typewriter hips. You're going to just move the pelvis. We're not going to drop the hip. We're just going to shift the pelvis to one side and the other side. And as always, observe, is there a side that just goes super easy? And then a side that feels a little more restricted. And I want you to ease up a little bit on the super easy side. Support the super easy side a little more with work, and support the tighter side with kindness. You're tight for a reason, right? There's nothing wrong with tightness. Go one more time each side, even it out wherever you are. And then come back to center and lower your pelvis down. And then cross the right knee over the left knee. So here we are in our adducted squat position, right? In a way, could be that squat. You're going to walk the left foot a little bit more into midline and then pull the left foot and the shoulders towards each other, and then lift the pelvis up. Stick your butt out, flex the right foot, and press the right leg into the left leg, dropping the diaphragm, bra strap area, that little hook that I've been talking about. Let it be heavy. Stick your butt out. And then maybe you're going to step your right heel above the left kneecap and just send that left kneecap a little bit forward. You hopefully feel a little more work in your left glute. Find your breath, especially if you want to hold it. Just, observe and breathe. Reach the right foot up to the ceiling, and then slowly pull that right leg straight-ish. Slight bend in the knee down to the floor. You're going to pull that right heel into the ground. Breathe here. Pull with your shoulders. Now, if you're up for it, pick up your left leg. You got to better work your arms here. Breathe. Soften the kidneys, soften the diaphragm, lower the left foot down, and then lower your pelvis. Reach both legs. Take a moment. Feel it out. And maybe you can feel that right side is a little longer. That's at least how it feels to me right now. Just a little more space in my spine here. Okay, let's do the other side. Walk your feet in, bend your knees, and you're going to cross the left leg over the right leg. Flex the left foot right away. Let both legs turn in. You're going to pull the shoulders to the heels, heels to the shoulders, and lift up. Again, the lift can be so small. We don't want to tuck and lift, right? We don't want to. Again, I can't say it enough. Less is more here. Squeeze the inner thighs, push the left foot into a wall. So we're turning that left leg on fully, and your buttocks should be also fully engaged. And then take your left heel, step it slightly above the right kneecap, and then just take that knee a little forward. So this is what we would call pelvic shift forward. The pelvis moves towards your foot. And that is glutes. Breathing here, celebrate the glutes, right? Make sure that right foot is fully grounded. Reach the left foot up to the ceiling. Reach it, like maybe you can feel like I'm pushing the ceiling up, and then slowly lower that leg down. Keep your kidneys hanging. Keep that left knee slightly bent. Pull the heel down into the ground. Find your long yet working hamstrings. Pick up the right foot. Breathe here. Notice if your ribs are popping. Do not let that left knee hyperextend. One more big breath. Lower that right foot down. Lower the pelvis down. Lengthen everything. And just check that out. Oof. Okay. So let's do 3 roll-ups and roll downs. Now, if you don't do roll-ups yet, you're going to walk up and just do roll downs. But let's see, I'm sure everybody can figure something out. We're reaching through the arms. And now just notice right away, are your shoulders part of this? Can I soften the shoulders, and can I move my pelvis to set me up? Round your spine. Go for the spine stretch forward. So there's our forward bend again. Pull the heels down into the floor. Really work your hamstrings. And then slowly, again, from our pelvis, let's roll halfway down. Stay here. Soften the kidneys back. Check in. Is my spine, am I tending to push the chest up? Can I stay rounded? And then come back up. I really love those half roll downs or quarter roll downs because you can pay attention, and we all fall into our patterns more or less at some point, right? So let's go again, halfway down, easy shoulders, kidneys come back, and can you pull yourself back up from your pelvis? Woo. Now let's go down. slow. Take your time. One of my teachers, he would make us do the 1 minute roll down. And he was actually a really nice guy. Find a big reach through your arms, through your feet. Flex the feet. Try not to hyperextend the knees, but yawn. Reach. And then reach the arms up. Easy shoulder blades. Lift your head and heart. And we're going to come up. Keep pulling your kidneys back. Pull the sits bones back. Spine stretch forward. And it's just the name of the exercise, the spine stretch. Slowly roll back down. It's not about, it's really about length, right? One more time. Big reach. Ugh. It's the yawning, right? I'm waking up in the morning, and that's the one stretch you want to do. Slowly coming up. Pull the heels down, pull the sits bones back. Now, if you can't grab on to your feet, toes, bend the knees a lot, doesn't matter. And I want you to just say, I'm going to hold on to my feet. I'm going to push my feet into my hands. I'm going to slide the shoulders down the back, and I'm pulling my hands into my feet. So I'm fully engaged, my whole body. And let's just wiggle a little bit from your pelvis side to side. But push and pull with hands and feet, shoulders easy, looking down, and just feel what happens in your buttocks here. Again, slight notion of our forward bend, right? With our palms on the floor. Very good. Slowly coming up, and you know what's next? Another set of squats. Slowly come up. I told you. Well, we have 20 more minutes. We can do 30 more squats. So super slow, super easy. You do your squat, please, right? Respect your knees, respect where you are with your body. If you don't respect it, right, how can anybody else respect it? And what do they say? It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where we go, right? Or something like that. I don't know. It's 5 on the right for me. Yeah, nice, Elaine. That's awesome. Do that. That's great. Forward bend with the squat is awesome. And make it different. Make it really different every time. Hop in a different direction. Make it really long, maybe, right? This could be this really weird oblong leg shape, right? It could be almost a lunge. That's fine. Very good. Awesome. Shake it out. And then come down to hands and knees, please. Now, if you have, say if you have wrist issues, that sounds always so weird, but if you have any, and this is for, you know, who you are specifically, for a couple of people who, you know, where weight bearing on the hands is challenging right now, or has been challenging. So you're very welcome to use a blanket underneath your wrist. And this is really for the case where full flexion in the wrist is not so available. You can prop it up, but we're going to work obviously on getting it back to where it can be. Tuck your toes under. Walk your knees actually quite a bit away, and we're just going to do a little bit of rocking. If you've ever watched a child going from being a baby to starting to move, that's what they do. Like they start with this little rocking motion, you know, they're ready soon. So we're going to slowly shift forward, slide the shoulders down the back, keep your kidneys lifted, turn on your butt, and then shifting back again. So this is going to be basically the level 1 of what we're going to do for the rest. you know, any weight bearing stuff we're going to do for the wrist. So just shifting forward, backward. We're trying to hold our spine. There's our plank in the spine, right? In a way, the plank is here if you just lift your knees up. So you can always come back to this. Let's do one more time. So this, again, just gently starting to find weight bearing on hands and knees. Okay, now let's do our baby push-ups. We're gonna take the left leg back and you're gonna bend your elbows. Make sure you keep heaviness in your thumb and index and then press back up. Yeah, elbows rotate towards each other, pick up the kidneys and bend the elbows. Look down to the floor, squeeze the shoulders a little bit, and then push back up. If you want to make this harder, pick up the left leg. Don't have the toes on the floor, and see if we can come down. You know, and this could be an inch. It's hard. No joke about this exercise. Squeeze the shoulders and then pushing back up. Let's do one more, either foot on the floor, both knees down, right? You have so many options. And then release that and just come on out of this position. And you'll feel it. I mean, I can feel it. It's a lot of work. One thing I want to talk about, and I think I've done a video on that, but it's a really easy wrist strengthening exercise. And I got this from a yoga teacher in Brooklyn, very early on in my little short-lived yoga career. So you're gonna come into hands and knees. You can tuck your toes under. Now, the further forward you are over your wrists, the harder this gets. You can sit really far back, really. You can have a blanket even here underneath your knees. And what we're going to try to do is with the hands, the index fingers going straight forward in line with your forearms, you're going to widen the shoulder blades and then pick up both wrists and then lower the wrists back down at the same time. You're going to pick up the wrists and make sure you're not doing good wrist, bad wrist or something like that, right? You want to, the point is that you're doing both. And it's not a very high lift. And do 5 to 7. And then you're going to turn the palm out a little bit. Maybe it's just tiny, like 10, 12 degrees. And then you're going to do the same thing here again. Just lifting the heel of the hand up and controlling it down. This is really good. If you're typing a lot, this is, I mean, honestly, it's good for everybody, right? But this is a great exercise. When you get stronger, you're gonna come a little more forward and find a little more weight bearing on those wrists. Also check in, are you doing shoulders and then wrists? So letting the shoulders be really easy, rotated wide, serratus, like this muscle really engaged, and you just working on this. And take it easy. This is not, don't do 50 of that and then take a little break. And even feel now the wrists should actually feel pretty darn good. So let's do a set of squats and then we're going to come down and do the other leg. Yeah. All right, here we go. And maybe you want to switch legs. So kind of find a set that you haven't done yet. One foot forward, the other foot back. It's going to guarantee you to really always step in a different position with your legs, since that's what we're trying to do, to get really good at doing not always same old, same old. I don't know, I think I'm at 4. You do whatever works, right? Take your time. I'll do maybe one more asymmetric, adducted. Great. then let's come back to the floor. Maybe your hands go back on a pillow. And we're going to have the shoulders right over the wrists or slightly behind. Again, so this is all up to you and your shoulders. We're going to take the right leg back. Well, option one, little pushes without, with just on the knees. Right leg back, keep lifting your kidneys. As you bend the elbows, let the shoulders come together. Very important. We're almost feel like you want to initiate a little bit by squeezing the shoulder blades together. Go small. Maybe lifting that back leg up. Notice if you're falling to the pinky side of your hand. Keep that thumb and index finger really heavy. It's gonna make your push-up probably a little bit smaller. Honor that. It's fine. It's great. You just don't want to mess up your shoulders. Very good. Come back to both knees. Roll out your wrists. And then just go ahead and lie on your belly. Okay. Make a pillow with your hands for your forehead. Tuck your toes under. Let the shoulders widen and just take a breath or two. And we're going to find our sit bones again. So reaching the sit bones up to the ceiling. We don't want to tuck the pelvis and jam the pubic bone down into the floor. We want to send the sit bones to the ceiling and then lift the kidneys up together. So that's really what a neutral supported spine pelvis look like. And then pick up the left leg. You're going to bend the left knee. Keep that left leg lifted and then reach the left leg long and lower it down. Let's do the right side. Check in if your pelvis started to really rotate. The goal would be, can I keep my pelvis really symmetrical, wagon wheeled parallel? You're going to pick up the right leg. You're going to bend the right knee. Keep that slight lift. Fully work your hamstrings and release. Pick up left leg, bend the knee. Let the kidneys pick up maybe even a little bit more. Reach the leg and release. Pick up right leg. Bend and extend. One more time. Left leg first. Squeeze through the hamstrings, right? They're pulling your knee to bend. Reach the leg and drop the toes. One more time, right side, flex and reach and release. Excellent. Okay, let's come to your forearms and already find a little lift in the belly. You have a couple of options here. So you can be on your forearms. And this is for everybody who says, okay, I've done enough for my wrists today. We're going to go into a plank. You can do a hover. Hover, it means for me just you lifting your pelvis up. And we're just going to go ahead and push the earth side to side with our forearms. Keeping the kidneys lifted. That's version 1. Version 2, lifting your knees. And you're going to push the earth side to side with your forearms and elbows. And your pelvis shifts in the opposite direction. Noticing what's happening in the core, right? That's big, big, big work. And then if you feel like, hey, I want to do another plank here, come to hands and knees. And we're going to shift our plank side to side. Now I want to encourage, so I'm not a huge fan of holding a plank, but I'm a huge fan of shifting the plank. So breathing here and staying in the fire a bit, staying in the uncomfortable as you're going side to side and still breathing and doing it is much more sustainable than just holding something super still forever. Take a time and then maybe take a break and come on out of it. Woo. Now it's getting warm. So come back up. We're gonna do another set of squats, right? And that would be 50 or 60. Now I forgot to count. I have to go back and count. So 2 options actually. I want to show you 2 options. If you're super advanced or more advanced, not super advanced, whatever is that. I want you to try this. So we've done this. We're gonna do a single leg balance, and you're gonna pick up the right foot, and then we're gonna do a little step forward, and then you're gonna step back, and then you're gonna do a squat. I hope that makes sense. I'm showing it on the other side. I'm gonna bend the right knee a little bit so it's a little sassiness in the hip. I'm chambering my left leg. I'm gonna go forward into the lunge, and the lunge could be, could be here. You're gonna come back into your chamber, step the left foot back, and go into a squat. You can just do your 5 squats on each leg. You can take a break. Options, right? So if we can, I want to try. It's not about, super standing it and put the foot down, hold on to something, whatever. It's all good. But now challenging the leg more, and you better pay attention to your knee and your foot here. There was my chamber that I missed, and then going back into the squat. Chamber, big step, coming back up, balance it, step back, squat, come back up. Chamber, if you do that, lunge, keep your kidneys tight and back, chamber, squat. I think we'll just do one more time each side, chamber, step, any width. Your step could be here. Keep your knees bent. Try not to, obviously step with straight legs. Squat. Last one, chamber, step, reach back to your chamber, squat, come back up, come back down, hands and knees. Okay, last thing. Version 1, you can do your rocking, you can do your forearm rocking, you can do your forearm plank, you can do your plank shifting side to side. But if you really want to do one more thing for your obliques, you're going to come to your plank, and we're going to take the knee to the opposite elbow. Really turn. Grab on with your fingers to the floor and really turn your pelvis. Your goal is to touch that knee to the elbow. You might not be there, you might be here, but if you really know where you're going to touch the knee to the elbow, you're going to have to rotate more. That's one aspect, right? Stronger hip flexor, but also more rotation. Let's do one more time. Each side. And then come and lie on your back. Feel the heart rate. It's probably elevated. Your breath is a little elevated. And just let that settle. One of the more important things we can focus on and work on is heart rate variability. So on demand, your heart rate goes up. And when you don't demand it anymore, it should be going down, right? It should be very responsive to your effort, to your exertion. I listened to a really interesting article like YouTube, whatever, video yesterday about heart health and water consumption. And it kind of blew my mind. And a lot, and in overall health, obviously, but that especially if we have irregular heartbeat like AFib or tachycardia or something like that, they found out now that these people are really dehydrated. So drink good water. That's my little Thanksgiving lecture. Take your time, stay on the floor, just feel it out, observe what's going on, and much gratitude to you and for your support. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Happy Thanksgiving, happy pumpkin pie. Bye-bye.